Welcome back and congratulations on getting this far. This will be the final video in section 3 of creating the demo of our game. Okay, and we need to create a win condition now, and remember in the rules we said to win the game we had to start the fire, so we need to add a fire, so make our fire pit actually come alive. So if we come over here to our fire pit model, all right, and our logs perhaps, because this is where we want to start the fire, let's insert an effect. So if we right click on there, actually if we just click on the plus sign next to it, you can type in here fire, okay, and there it is. And when we click on it, okay, here is our fire, and it says it's enabled, and where is it? Oh, there it is, off in the distance. Okay, so we want to grab our fire, Actually what we'll do is, rather than put it in there, we will come back over to here and we'll put it in, actually we'll put it in the base, because this will come into the center of the base. There it is. Alright, so there we have a fire burning in our base, and just so we can try and position our logs etc so that it looks correct, we can turn all of our transparencies on like this and move that across there and that across there, so our fire's sort of sitting underneath our logs. Okay, and we might want to move that down a bit that way. Alright, so you can play around with that and work out where it needs to be. So maybe just pull it over this way a bit. Alright, and you'll notice that when you click on your fire, there's a few things that we can do with it, okay? So the size of the fire, the color of the fire, how much heat is coming out of it, alright? We can't change the direction that I understand, but let's try maybe make it a bit bigger. Okay, there we go, that looks pretty good. And let's try maybe change this up to, let's try something really high. Alright, so hot, and it's burning away out that direction. So now unfortunately I don't know how to change that the direction of where that's going, but I may try to look into that in the future. Okay, but for now let's put this back to say 10 for the heat, maybe even just 5, so that it just burns in the one spot there. And we've got quite a sizable fire sort of going there, and we may want to perhaps just move our log model over a bit so that it's in the fire. There you go. Alright, so we've got a fire that's burning to show that we've won the game. However, we don't want to have that enabled just yet. So once you get it looking the right way and you play with the colors and everything, we want to unclick enabled. Alright, so to turn it off, but it's sitting there ready to go. And we'll also put our transparency on our logs back to 1 until the player has collected them, and we're pretty well ready to set this up to make the fire start. So the question is, well, how do we know when all of these things have been done? Well, we've already got that condition if we take a look at this, because down here we said you have already you already have a log, or so if we come into our log script, all right, when we're picking up logs, that's fine. It's making them appear and disappear, etc., and resetting this back to here. So if we get down to here, it's saying you already have a log, all right, or you've already collected enough. So if either of these fail, that means that it comes down to here. All right, so if they've got, they don't have a log, all right, or if it's false, it'll come in here to true. So when this gets to 3, we could say, so no. All right, here we go. I'm thinking on the fly here. By the time they get 3 logs, and if the player runs onto the fire pit, so we probably should do it in the fire pit, shouldn't we? Yeah, over here. Okay. So by the time this gets to 3, all right, and this shows up as 3, if they've got the fire pit is greater than 2, so it's 3, all right, it's going to drop down to here. You've already connected enough logs. This is the one I wanted to look at. So we know they've got enough logs. So the only other thing we really need to check then is, do they have a stone and a flint? And if that's the case, then we can turn the fire on. So up the top here, we want to come in here. Now there's 2 things we can either check. We've already got vase here, so we'll just check whether they've got a stone and we've got a flint. Okay, so let's add into, so we're in our fire pit script. Player has stone, all right, and we know that's in player vase, so we can say find first child and has stone, right, and local player has flint. Let's player vase find first child has flint. So we'll just check those again. Has stone and has flint. They're the 2 things we're looking at. Back in our fire pit script. So down here, instead of having this print statement in here, we're going to add a conditional statement. So we'll say if player has stone.value, so that has to be true, and player has flint.value, so that has to be true, then we can start the fire. Okay, so we can put a comment in here, player wins. So we need to get access to this fire here to enable it. All right, so let's come up to the top, and remember we're already in the base, so we already have base. We just need to look for the fire here. So what we could do is create another local fire equals, okay, script dot parent dot fire pit dot, oh, my apologies, we want to go into the base and dot fire. All right, that gets us access to fire, and it's got a property that's called enabled. So down the bottom here, we can simply type fire dot enabled equals true. All right, and this is only going to run once they have enough enough logs, and it'll then run this code, and if these are true, this will happen, otherwise nothing will happen. Okay, and we'll run on with the rest of our code there. So let's see if we can actually start the fire. We'll save that and run the game, and let's see if we can do it. So we can run over our flint and our stone, pick those up straight away, not a problem. We can't pick them up again, doesn't change the numbers. We get a log, we get that, we get another log, and all right, not happening. So we've run into our first problem while we have been coding. So let's have a look. We've got 3, 1, 1. Right, let's have a look and see why that's not working. Okay, I had a quick look, I just had to pause it because I couldn't quite understand what was happening. However, higher up in here, in the fire pit, it's dependent on whether we have a log when we run onto the fire pit. And because once we get down to here, the number goes up and everything okay. However, because we can't pick up another log, then none of this code down underneath here runs again for us to even get to here. Okay, so what we can do, there's a few ways that we can change this, but one thing that we could do is to put in an OR statement here, okay, to say OR our log count has reached, or the fire pit, let's say fire pit, all right. So let's say we say OR the fire pit count, okay, is equal to 3. So what's going to happen here is this will only ever get to 3 because that this is the only place we add onto it, so it can't get added onto more. So if this is true, okay, then we'll still run through to here. This is a little bit of a clunky way to do it, but let's see if it works, because I haven't tested it yet, but I think it should be okay. Alright, it's probably a little bit less confusing for you than to pull bits of code out and things at this stage. So we'll put a log on here, we'll put another log on here, and we'll put another log on here, and there is our fire. It has started. We can't pick up another log, and we have finished our game. Alright, so this is our demo version of our game. And if you've got to this stage, you should be very proud of yourself that you've managed to get it all to work. It's not very exciting though at the moment, and like I said, this is the last video in this section. So in the next section, we're going to make it better. So whenever you make a game, you should always make a demo like this that gets the mechanics or the things working correctly first. And when you're happy with that, then you can go on to improve the gameplay using the existing mechanics that you've got, and that's what we'll do in the next section. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this up to this point, and if you want to make our camping game a bit better, I'll see you in the next section.